I go bird hunting for a lot of reasons. I enjoy just being out in nature. But when I hunt birds here in Iowa or in other states, the thing that really makes it enjoyable for me is to be out there with my bird dog. You know, once that bird comes up off the bird dog's nose, it's nothing but excitement. Many years ago, back in about 1984, I believe, I got involved with Pheasants Forever by virtue of going to a meeting. I went expecting the standard pheasant stocking organization, and I was completely surprised to find that here was an organization that was talking about the right thing. This was the first organization I'd run into that really understood that habitat was key.
Jim, how many years total do you have in Pheasants Forever?
31. I worked for the Department of Natural Resources at that time. I was a research biologist, and having understood what the organization was all about, which was habitat, I ended up going to work for the Habitat organization as their first wildlife biologist on staff in 1985. I personally started 42 chapters the first year. And that speaks to the strength of the model and the interest to do something constructive for the bird. People were excited about doing things to actually put cover, winter cover, nesting cover, food plots, things along that line on the ground. I continued in that capacity for a while and moved on to become senior wildlife biologist as we added staff. After having worked with pheasants for a very long time, the organization decided that it would expand into the quail range and was accepted as the director of field operations for Quail Forever.
This particular project came about when a landowner who owned a property adjacent to a relatively recently acquired wildlife management area decided it was time for him to sell his property. Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation realized it was an incredible site. They then reached out to Pheasants Forever and Quail Forever to explore the opportunity of partnering on that particular acquisition.
I know these areas we burned was 61 acres. Okay. It was late May. Admittedly, I wanted to get it done sooner because I was paranoid about getting it burned. But this worked out pretty well. You can see we had probably a 90% kill on the woody species that we wanted to get knocked down. But hopefully we'll get some good stimulus on the natives. In Iowa, we don't often get large tracts of land that are protected, that when you get out in them, they feel like wilderness. Well, you can get into places on this property where you cannot see the gravel road.
For the state of Iowa to have a property where the best access, you have to cross running water to get to, and there is one road access on the entire property, is pretty special. It's just the perfect place to honor Jim and his family's dedication to conservation over the last 4 decades.
I was incredibly surprised and remain completely astonished by the fact that Pheasants Forever and the Heritage Foundation chose to associate my name with this tract of land. I appreciate the recognition, but there are a lot of other folks involved.
Build a Wildlife area has had a lot of truly remarkable accomplishments. You know, we've been doing acquisition through Pheasants Forever since the early 80s. As an organization, we have protected over 243,000 acres and opened them up to public access. You know, we have landowners coming to us saying, I would like my property that I have invested the last 30 years in doing conservation work, I would like to see it protected. We are able to be in a great position because of this program to help those landowners protect their legacy and create opportunities for their community. This is a program where anyone who appreciates wild places, appreciates getting out hunting or bird watching or hiking, appreciates clean water and plentiful wildlife can see themselves in this mission and get involved and make a true difference.
I hope that when people come to an area like this, first and foremost, they enjoy it for what it is. And secondly, and importantly, they understand how it got here. It got here through the efforts of people just like them. It got here through the efforts of agencies that cared about providing public recreation. It got here by virtue of volunteers who raised the money and raised the whole idea of a project like this. And so if they understand that, my hope is that inspires them to get involved as well, so that we can build upon this legacy and leave more for the people in the future.